Good morning. Today we will start a new chapter, the Vijayanagar and Bamni Kingdom. This week only you will get your question answer exercise work of the chapter number 5 by the Saturday, Sunday you can check it and complete also. Because many of you are not writing thinking I will write it later. So please complete your work. Now today we will start the new chapter, the Vijayanagar and the Bamni Kingdom. It is a kingdom which established in the Deccan and the South India. You read in the chapter number 4 when especially at the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, when he moved at the side of the Deccan and later on he returned back, which is known as the transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Later on time period, many other reasons brought the development of the kingdoms over the Deccan and the South India. So in the Deccan and the South India, for the at least more than 2 centuries, the two different kingdoms they established and they become the very powerful kingdom, Vijayanagar and the Bamni kingdom. In your book page number 64, you can see it is given the map of India, and with the light yellow or you can say brown color, first it is given the Bamni kingdom, and with the light purple it is given the Vijayanagar kingdom. You can see it here. The place name it is given also Ahmednagar, Warangal, Bidar, Gulbarg, Bijapur, Golconda. And then in between it is given Talikota at the side of river Krishna. So these two important kingdoms they took birth as the fall of the decline of the Delhi Sultanate started over the Deccan and the South India, and both brought one Bamni kingdom influence of the Islam and the Vijayanagar kingdom with the influence of Hinduism, but both were superior in their time period. Both had the conflict only one matter, that was the place of the Raichur Doyab, and it is converted into the Battle of Talikota. The place is mentioned in your map, you can see. First, it is given some reason for the disintegration of the Delhi Sultanate. Basically, the revolt by their own nobles. We read in the chapter when the nobles always they used to either they are supportive or they used to create problem for the Sultan. So it happened whenever the weak condition of the Sultanate, the noble or the ambitious noble, they used to revolt against the Sultan. Some of the Sultan they were able to crush the revolt, and if the Sultans are unable, they used to declare their area as a independent state under them. So it happened during those era. Normally, they were not popular with their subject, especially they left some of the taxes. Different to Sultan, different rules and regulation. Firoz Shah Tughlaq brought Jizya custom to please the ulema, but far-reaching effect many other people they were not happy. Then another thing, the successor of the Firoz Shah Tughlaq, they were good humanitarian, but they were not having the quality of the warcraft or the another phase. It resulted their lack of the military quality or the commander quality. They lost their place one by one during the time of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq as he moved to the Deccan and when he returned back. So he became unpopular at the both places. So disintegration slowly started there. Another important thing, all were not capable like the Alauddin Khilji or other ruler. So it resulted the Delhi Sultanate was too big, but in the lack of the proper ruler, this place started disintegration because many independent rulers they started controlling the area. Then there were the invasion of the Timur and the another people who looted the treasury of the Delhi. In such way, this all brought the disintegration of Delhi. But the two important culture that resulted or the two important empire Vijayanagar and the Bamni kingdom flourished. First, we will discuss with the Vijayanagar kingdom. Vijayanagar kingdom was founded by the two brothers Harihara and the Bukka Rai in 1336. And very short time period they were able to control the power over the entire South India. Started from the river Krishna Tungabhadra, they reached till the Indian Ocean and basically the area of the Kanya Kumari at modern age. So they have to fight a great number of the battles also, and especially their battle is famous with the Bamni ruler for the control of the Raichu Doyab, which was between the Krishna and Tungabhadra river. Doyab meaning already I have explained. When the two rivers basin, that area is most fertile. You read about the Ganga Yamuna Doyab area about the North India. So they have to fight the various battle. In this battle, Hoysala dynasty in Mysore and the king of Madurai. And both places Harihara and Bukka, they were winner. Then Harihara and Bukka. First, they were the feudatory, means they grant the land under the Kakatiyas of the Warangal. Later on, they shifted Kampli, and then the kingdom of the Warangal that was taken by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. They were in Kampli and they started working under the local ruler. But once again, this area was taken by Ghiyasuddin, the area of Kampli. Now they started their areas with the South India. They rebelled against the Muhammad bin Tughlaq after the some time, and then they started controlling the area where Tughlaq rulers sent them to crush the rebellion, and then they established the area of the south side, and then they gave the name at Vijayanagar, the area, the city of the victory. They were having the inspiration person that was Acharya Madhava Vidyaranga, and then they established the kingdom. So in Vijayanagar kingdom, three different dynasties ruled it. One was the Sangama, to whom Harihara and Bukkaraya was having the capacity. Second one was the Saluva, and the third one was the Tuluva dynasty. And in all these three dynasties, the Tuluva dynasty, basically the rulers were the Krishnadeva Raya, and he is famous in the Indian history as a strong ruler and for the good administration and to bring the peace and prosperity over the Vijayanagar kingdom. Sangama dynasty was disposed by the Vijayanagar minister Saluva Narasimha, and later on it passed in the hand of the Tuluva dynasty. Now the character and achievement of Krishnadeva Raya. So he was the most popular ruler of the Tuluva dynasty, and in his time period many foreign travelers they visited his court and they had given the account regarding him. Domingo Pais, he came from the Portugal he came, he was a Portuguese, and then he wrote about the account of the Krishnadeva Raya estate, about the political, social, economic condition of the country. And then he brought the information that Krishnadeva Raya, he defeated several rulers including the Bahmani ruler, and then he controlled over the Raichu Doyab, and then he moved at the side of Mysore. There also he was successful and he controlled the area of Visakhapatnam, and then he moved at the side of Odisha, and then he was able to extend his kingdom over the South India with his ability and power. So he was the person, not only great warrior, a good administrator, because was the person having the good quality how to administrate over the kingdom. Under his kingdom, the people were happy and prosperous. Then he was having the another quality, like Samundragupta, he was also having the quality of the writing work. So it was the golden age of the Telugu literature under his rule. In his time period, the Portuguese, Dutch, English, and many other people they visited the court, and basically they had the relationship of trade with him. Not only the trade for agriculture, also he started facilities for his people, dug the canals, tank and the dam for the people. Hampi became the capital of the Vijayanagar Empire, and many monuments are there in the Hampi. Main features of the Vijayanagar Empire, it is given about the administration. So in the administration, the Vijayanagar, they adopted decentralization of political power. Means there were no direct control of the king over all the group. But it depend upon the normally in the decentralized power, it depend upon the capacity of the ruler, how they are going to manage. So here Krishna Deva Raya, he managed the decentralized power in the very beautiful way. He was the supreme authority and the center of administration. He was the commander of the country, you can say. And then he maintained a very big army equipped with the modern weapon because he had the trade relationship with the foreign countries. So horses he demanded from the Arabs, then about the gunpowder he brought from the Portuguese. Like this way, every country he had the good area. So he was able to manage a big army. Then he divided his empire into the 6 provincial, and this governed by the governor known as the knights. And then these provinces were divided into district, sub-district and the kramas. So the village was the smallest but important unit of the administration. It was decentralized, but it was managed by the Iyengaras, and they used to look after the village, all the matter of the village, agriculture, collecting of revenue, dispute, and every order is there. There were the officer in the village who used to keep the account and supervise the labor. So in such way he was able to manage. Now society. So his empire was really a prosperous empire. Every individual, they were having enough for themselves, or you can say they were adorned themselves, himself or herself, with the beautiful jewelry or ornament, and it give the information that people were happy with their condition. So equal position of the male and female, that is also given as a picture in the Vijayanagar kingdom. Means the women, they were also educated and they were having the training of the art and music, and they also had the occupation or profession of wrestling, astrology, soothsaying and the auditing. All these they had, but still they also worked at the trade and the clerical for themselves. In such way they had the kingdom area. So you can say the condition of the woman, that was good or excellent under the Vijayanagar rule. People for the test, they were the non-vegetarian because they believe in ahimsa, and also it means that people, they were having the good in nature, and later on they started uh, becoming more conservative, and they have to give the counterpart with the Islamic forces. So in the Vijayanagar, the Hindu caste system prevalent, and child marriage and the sati pratha was also there. At the time of the Krishna Deva Raya, another travelers like the Niccolo Conti and Abdul Razak, they also came to India from the Italy and from the another places, and they gave a detailed picture about the Vijayanagar. Means the land revenue was the main source of income, and the nobles and the people, they had the luxurious lifestyle, and the taxes depend upon the fertility of the land, and different types of the taxes were also there over the people. So in such way the Vijayanagar kingdom, that was prosperous and many sources of income was there. but it doesn't mean that the kingdom was prosperous. The king used to torture the people. King had a very happy life with his countrymen. So next time we will read about the another part of the chapter related with that. By the time you can read the chapter. Okay, thank you children.